Shining bright, sunshine in the sky. Megan and Tammy here to testify, spreading love, laughter and good vibes too. The Fat Girl Chronicles, we're breaking through. No more hiding.
Hey, I'm Tammy.
And I'm Megan.
And together we are the Fat Girl Flippers. And this is our podcast, the Fat Girl Chronicles.
Yes, so if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you're reminded every time we post. But if you prefer to listen to us through audio, we are on most podcast streams, Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all those. So you can listen to us there.
But of course, if you want to see our beautiful shining faces,
Yes, the YouTube.
tune in here
Yes.
to YouTube. Yeah, so if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed and that you hit that notification bell so you'll know every time we have an upload. And also hit that like button and put a comment down below and let us know how we're doing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how was your week?
How was my week? It was good. It was long. I feel like this week was really, really, really long.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, you might not have.
I always love when you have green ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like this week was very, very, very long. But yeah, today ended on a positive note.
I know talking to you at the beginning of the week, you had anticipated a heavy week. So
Yeah, exactly. I had my last two trainings this week, and then today I wasn't doing a training. I was like participating in a training, which was actually fairly interesting. So we could talk about that. But yeah,
I just realized we don't have the light on. I don't know if...
no, that's not going to do anything. Do you want me to try? See if it makes a difference?
Yeah, I just wonder if people are seeing us in the dark or... I know it's not dark, but...
Which one is it?
That one.
No.
That one. Yeah,
Better?
yes, it is, actually. This corner is very dark, so...
Live in action on the podcast.
Live from the corner of the tiny house next to the
Oh my
washer and in
God.
front of the fridge.
Oh my god.
Squeezed in wherever we can make ourselves fit.
How was your week?
Story of our life.
I know, really though.
My week was good. A lot of good things happened this week. A lot of positives. I'm trying to think of what they were, but I know I did have a really good week, and I was thinking about it when I was going to tell you. Last week, this week was my last week of the course for proposal writing.
Oh, you must be so excited
I'm
about that.
so thankful that that's over.
Yeah.
Now on to finding grants so we can actually start some application processes and get into that
Yeah.
and get some money. The auction ended for Lemonade Stand and we made just a little over $1,000, so that was super good. Hopefully we can do that again, maybe twice a year or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good fundraiser. I noticed you were in on that.
Yes,
And you
yes,
got
I
a
did
couple
win.
things?
Yeah, I did win, yeah. I won.
2 things, right?
Yep, I won.
Oh, you got pickleball.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about that too. So is it like, do I just go in? Well, I guess we can talk about it after, but...
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. I'll figure it out.
Michelle would know about the pickleball. You can
Perfect.
ask her.
Okay.
And you got, what was the other one you got? Reiki?
The Reiki.
That's
there was,
awesome.
I think, 2 of them that were on
Yes.
auction, and one of them I won. I don't even know which
and
one.
Michelle's sister got the other one, which is
Oh,
really
really?
cool too. Yeah.
That's so cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that went really well.
Oh, and I won something. I
Oh.
got tickets to Shakespeare by the Sea.
Oh,
in
cool.
Parisboro, and I was going to ask you if you wanted to go
cool.
with
When
me.
is it?
I'll have to look at it and
Okay,
check, but
yeah.
I was going to
That
ask
would
you
be
if you would
cool.
like to go.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you bid on some stuff.
Yeah, just that and I bid on a couple of things, but I don't.
You got outbid?
Yeah, pretty quickly.
I know. Most stuff sold for
Most stuff
what
went
it was
for
worth.
what it was worth, which is actually great.
Yeah.
And if anybody's listening that's a member of Lemonade Stand and participated, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And we we gave
Oh yes,
a
our
gift
Fat
card.
Girl Flipper gift certificate that we gave for $50 got full price on it. So and that was by one of our regulars.
Yeah, so that was really cool, and it went like really fast.
Yes, yeah, it was sold at full price. I think like 3 days after the auction started.
If that.
Yeah, so pretty proud of that.
That's awesome.
Well, we are pretty proud of that.
Yeah,
We should be.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I've been sitting on the deck, fiddling with my plants.
Yeah, it's really warm today.
It's not a relax in the sun kind of day today because it's steaming hot.
Yeah, my guess is that there was an accident or something. And that's why well, I mean, it's a little breezy, but
Just a little while ago, it was like
super windy,
super gusts of wind. The trees were like bending over, and it was shortly before you. Yeah, and it was shortly before you called.
Yeah, because it had gone out, like it kind of like it went out and then came back,
on and then out again.
And then like 5 minutes later it went out and then didn't come back. But it's really creepy, like our hallway. So when you open the door, there's like it's just like a hallway. But there's no lights. There's just the emergency lights or whatever. So it's very creepy looking.
Do you guys, you have 2 floors
Yes.
in that building. Is there an elevator?
Yes.
So is there a backup plan or anything if someone's in there in a wheelchair and they're upstairs?
I have no idea.
Because when the power's out, you can't use the wheelchair. I mean, you can't use
the elevator.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. A lot of, and that's a government building as well, right? It's owned by Mi'kmaq?
No. So it's just like a regular building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's lots of the courthouse is in there.
Yeah, that's why I thought it might have been owned by the local government.
No, the courthouse. There's a lawyer's office. There might be even like a medical center.
There is. There's a lot of things in there because I was in that parking lot the other day.
Yeah.
And because we had a fire drill at the hospital and there was no real plan for people in wheelchairs. That's why
what's
I asked
the thing, right? Like, what is the plan?
Well, I don't necessarily know. I guess, yeah. I don't.
Like, what happens in that situation?
What they told me at the hospital, which was very alarming, was you just sit here by the top of the stairs, and when the fire department comes, they will deal with you. Do you know how scary that is if everyone else is evacuating?
That's wild.
So, something that's interesting is Disabled Not Dead Society does wheelchair skills. And one of their members is coming up to teach us some wheelchair skills. And some of the things they can do in their chairs, their manual chairs, they can go up and down stairs or things like that.
Really?
So I think, honestly, I think if it came to that, I'd be tempted to do the stairs in the wheelchair, just leaning back, yeah.
Wow.
Seriously. Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, what else is the option, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess burn to death or a straight shot down those steps at the hospital.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, what do you do in that situation? Because it's like, how do you navigate a multi-story?
Well, in my opinion, every building that has an elevator should also have access to one of those things that the airplanes use. Those when they have an emergency exit, those puffy blow up slide things.
That's a good idea.
Because that would at least get you to the bottom, and somebody could get you in a wheelchair at the bottom.
Wheelchair.
Yeah. Right? Like, if you just got on it and slid down, that would be safe.
Yeah.
So, that would be my solution. But, I mean, I don't know if that's possible or how that works or anything. But I know that I never even thought about it as a wheelchair user until it happened. And then I was like, this is scary. Because you're literally seeing, because there's like, what's the area called where everybody comes? Literally everybody, when the fire drill goes off, they just pour out of the hospital like ants to this muster station. That's what it is.
Oh my God.
Which is way out in the far end of the parking lot.
Right.
So you'd be left in the building by yourself.
So
And what about like what's their plan for patients in?
so for their drill, they just ignored you.
No, my counselor, she was there, and she's the one who said to me, "Just stand by the stairs." She said, "I just asked somebody, and they told me to tell you,
Jesus.
not stand by the stairs. Sit by the top of the stairs in your wheelchair, and when the fire department gets here, they'll deal with you." Whatever that means. If anybody out there's in the fire department, and you know what's the protocol for elevators and things, put it down in the comments, please.
That is wild.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a hospital, right? That's a hospital. Think about how many people would be in wheelchairs, how many people wouldn't be able to walk, how many people would be in beds that had just had operations, how many people would be in ICU or getting cancer treatment or, like any of that
Wow.
stuff. Not just me in my wheelchair, at least I could see the front door,
Right. Yeah, what happens in that scenario, I wonder?
I don't know. I really don't know. I am assuming that you wouldn't be allowed to leave your patient. Your mom might know. She's like,
Oh yeah, I never thought.
isn't she in HR for?
Yeah,
she might know.
She might know. And she's worked in hospital settings before.
Yeah. Ask her.
Yeah,
She
I'll
might
have to
know.
ask her. That is weird. Yeah, I never even.
I feel like I'm going to ask that scenario. Michelle and I are going to go to the hospital anyway for an accessibility visit because we've been doing a few of the buildings in town. So I guess when I go, that'll be one of my major questions.
Yeah.
How the hell did we get out
Do
of
you have
here?
it scheduled yet?
Not yet, no.
Oh, that's exciting,
we
though.
had it scheduled, but something happened. The guy that was going to go with us, because we need an occupational therapist and physiotherapist, and I think there was another representative that was going to go with us, just because of, different needs like for different people.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Michelle took the course, the Recanson course, so she knows the actual requirements and things for places.
Really?
Yeah, so like when we're done, we write a letter of. We also have them take notes while we walk around about things. We did this at the library, and and then the people take their notes and the things that need to be back
Right.
to their, like, the library has an accessibility committee, and I'm guessing the hospital being as big as it is, they probably do too. So, anyway, interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back to you.
Yeah, no, it just popped in my head. One thing I did do on last Friday, I did acupuncture.
Oh, and how was that?
Actually it was fine. Like I was a
You
bit
are
nervous.
getting so brave.
Yeah, because I don't really care for needles, but you don't really feel.
No, it's very,
Yeah.
they're very, very tiny.
Very tiny. I would go out on a limb and say that she would be fat friendly.
Yeah?
Nothing had to do with my weight. Like that was my biggest fear around going, because I was going for like a fertility treatment. I was worried that because for the consult, like they sit with you and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do they actually do acupuncture like on this area, or is it all over your body?
They actually did it on down my legs,
Okay.
not across my belly, in my hand, right
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
And then on my head.
Huh.
Yeah.
There is a reason for that, because the nerves are connected to different parts of your body. I know that when I did Reiki.
When she looked at my numbers, like, because I sent all my blood work numbers to her, I think it was, the liver. So her idea is like, instead of trying to attack each individual hormone, she wants to work on making sure my liver health is 100, like amazing.
And then go on to something else.
That really impacts like the overall, all of my hormones.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where she was at. So it's funny because she was very like, very considerate. Like she wanted to she said to me, okay, I want to focus on getting your period like normal. And then, but as she was doing the treatment, before she put it in one spot, she's like, are you, just to confirm, like, are you actively trying now? Like, have you tried? And I said, yes, like this month we did try. And she goes, okay, I'm not going to do this spot because if I do this spot, it's almost going to force a period. So she was very like,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So she was very intentional, very like considerate. You could tell that this was her like life passion.
That is awesome.
But it never once did. We talked about my hormones. We talked about just like, like my hormones and stuff and like the functions of the different bodies and all that stuff. But weight was not brought up.
I gotta say, isn't it great when you meet a health professional and you can go through all your stats and not one time do they ask about your weight or anything, and they treat you like a human being.
Yeah. And it's funny because leading into it, I was like, if she brings it up, I'm just going to tell her, I've already lost, 60 pounds. I've already lost 60 pounds. Like, just because, like, I was gearing up for that, right? Okay, if I say I lost weight.
We shouldn't have to feel that way at all.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it was really, so it was Honey and Ginger in Dartmouth. Dartmouth, the Dartmouth location. And her name, I believe, is Natalie. And she was very, very, very good.
Shout out to Natalie.
Yeah, like very comfortable.
For taking care of my Megan.
Yeah, no, she was very good, I gotta say.
I'm glad. Are you going to go back?
Yeah, I have an appointment. She's gone away, so I think it's like near the beginning of July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she recommends like and that's the other thing, I was like, how often should I be like doing this? And she was like, I'd love to see you every 2 weeks, but stuff like it's also an expense, right? So like even once a month or whatever.
Do you have coverage though,
yes.
right? And are you covered on Richard's plan too?
Yes.
That's awesome. I was wondering if that was, because that'll get you a lot more sessions, right?
Yes. It was $110 for the consult. That was it was almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then I think it's 80 or 90 60-minute sessions after that.
Yeah.
So
I had acupuncture when I have Ramsay Hunt syndrome, but when I got Ramsay Hunt syndrome, that was one of the treatment tools that they suggested for it too. And my face was really bad. Like, I mean, I couldn't open this eye. It was totally shut.
Really?
And they did acupuncture all around my eye and my cheek and down here and in my neck and on my head.
Really?
Yep. And it did help. Well, I mean, I assume it helped. It's hard to know because some stuff could come back just naturally.
Right.
But I was consistent with treatments for about, I'd say, 3 months. And
right.
I did see an improvement, so.
And it's so funny. And the other thing too is like, she's super gentle. Like she was very, very gentle. And she was telling me, she said her very first experience with it was awful because the girl was just like, she just went to like a student place and they were like very rough and it really, really hurt. So she's very like the very first needle she put in, she's like, okay, let's take a deep breath. Like, very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was very good, I gotta say.
That's nice. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Glad that.
Yeah, so I guess that would be the only other
hopefully that
kind of new thing.
Gets things rolling a little bit, too.
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt.
No.
So.
And, I mean, I found it anyway. I found it to be relaxing, and I think you will now that you know what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because you basically just lay there with the things in your head and you don't move, or wherever you have them.
Yeah, I know. I thought the head would, but you really genuinely.
No, because they just superficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It's fascinating.
How it works is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is pretty fascinating. Yeah, so that was kind of, I guess that really just busy week.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I have decided that I'm designating for just nothing.
I'm going to beep at you when I go to Lowland Gardens.
Oh, right. You guys are going to Lowlands, yeah. Tomorrow, I'm like...
Walk over.
Tomorrow, I am not leaving my bed.
I'm not coming to get you.
Do I pause? Let me see what it is. Hold on. I'm gonna pause this for a sec. I'm just gonna turn it up.
All right. So what else is new with you? What else has been going on that's exciting?
That's about it.
Oh, I know what was exciting. That we went to your Richard's uncle's antique shop next door to you, and you didn't even know it existed.
I know.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yes, yeah. And you guys didn't make it to Granny's.
No. The driver was uncooperative.
Did you guys attempt to go, or did
No.
you just turn around? Oh,
No,
God.
he only wanted to look. When he turned, no, he went down as far as the church.
Right.
And looked at all the antiques down by the church. And then, well, it left me in the car.
Oh, yes.
And then, turned around and went home. So, that
no
was,
clams for you.
no clams for me.
Oh.
Probably only be able to eat 2 anyway.
That's true.
That's what I always think when I'm craving something. I'm
Yes.
like, well, I'd only be able to eat 1 anyway, so.
Yeah, that's really difficult.
Sometimes. Then other times I'm glad, but.
Yeah.
Oops.
So I guess other than that, nothing really crazy.
So we made the announcement about our pool party
Yes.
since our last podcast.
Yeah, we did a podcast on it. Remember?
Our last podcast was about it? Was I here?
Actually, no, you weren't. We went to.
We were okay.
So technically.
No, I was that. See, take me out of my surroundings. I'm totally lost. Can't remember what I did.
Technically, yeah. So we've gotten a few people since then, so that's really good. That's exciting. Like
Pay
or like just like
Just
show
confirm.
interest and
Okay.
stuff like that, which is exciting. Yeah.
Baby.
Tammy's more of on the nervous side, but
I'm not nervous. I just don't want us to lose
I
money.
know.
I just
Yeah.
I want it to be successful.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Because I think it's a lot. Like I think it can be a lot of fun, and I think that
Oh, it will be.
yeah,
1,000%.
yes, it will be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Even if it's only me, you, and Suzanne. We've already decided this.
Well, we've got a few people, so
Yeah.
that's good. And yeah, I think I think that'll be fun. And Richard is going to be doing he knows about that piece, so that's really good.
Did he find out when he listened to the podcast?
No, I asked him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I asked him.
He got voluntold.
He got voluntold, yes.
Yeah.
So I did a training today, and it was quite interesting. It was talking about psychological safety in the workplace. So I thought that was a very interesting topic.
Wow.
Yeah, and self-care as well. And that,
Seriously?
yeah, the self-care piece was very interesting as well. I'm going to start looking at more of the history around self-care because it actually has like deeper roots than what we use it today for. And I wish I could remember I won't describe it now because it's...
Are you thinking of like indigenous cultures use like the sweat lodge and different things like that, right?
Could be, but this wasn't indigenous based.
Okay.
It actually came from, she said it came from the Black queer community. But I can't remember what the details were beyond that because I was just like, that is
Wow.
really cool. Like, so it's it started one way and then she described like in the medical field, like the nursing and stuff, then they started using the word. And so it just kind of like evolved over time. And now it's just gotten to a point where it's just kind of like self-care is like nothing now. Like as in there's no power behind the word self-care at this point, right?
Because it's so saturated in our
for sure, right?
vocabulary.
Right. And so she described like self-care in different ways. So like boundaries was one, which I thought was really cool. like being intentional was another one. So like really being intentional about when you are practicing self-care, like actually like actively say that in your brain, like I am performing self-care at this moment. Stuff like that. Being really self-compassionate, I think, was another one. But the boundaries
So were
one,
you taking training?
yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
virtual. Yeah,
It was virtual, okay.
Yeah, and actually, so we will get the recordings at the end. So I'm gonna reread that because
Yeah,
it's
that's
very, very interesting.
Interesting. For
Yeah.
sure.
The boundaries one I thought was cool because she talked about boundaries in a way, it's like, because a lot of people are thinking like boundaries is like just saying no, but she was saying like even just pausing is
Before
setting,
you answer.
yeah, is setting a boundary, and I never really thought about it that way. So, oh my god, these spam calls. I keep getting them. It's been brutal. It's been packages lost in the mail. It's been silence. Have you ever gotten the silent ones? Mm-hmm. Where they literally say
I
nothing.
love the one, my very favorite of all time is the guy who called and told me that if I didn't pay, I forget, it was some astronomical sum in Bitcoin,
Oh my gosh.
that the sheriff was coming to arrest me.
Oh, I've never gotten that one.
Yeah.
I usually get the ones where the package is in the mail.
No, I've never had any of that.
Oh, no, I've had where it's like...
The
passed across.
lost package.
Yeah.
If you click this and
Yeah, and you
now
can find your lost package and stuff. Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, no, the workshop was quite interesting, like around self-care and what that means, and just being super intentional about it. Mm-hmm. Because we definitely aren't, I think. Especially people that are practicing it and then are like feeling guilty about it too. Like that happens a lot too, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to...
Like young moms.
Yes.
Working moms, things
Yeah.
like that. I think women in general tend to put themselves last. Mm-hmm. So anytime you take time for yourself, you're usually feeling like you're not fulfilling one of your duties.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
it be work, home, kids, husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that just speaks to the fact that women are like
Powerful.
tend to be, well, they're powerful, but they also tend to just be socialized to be the end, be all end all, right? We're
Well,
socialized
we are the
to do everything.
yeah, we are the nurse, we are the whatever.
Yeah, the caretaker, the nurturer, the
Teacher, the whatever.
yeah, everything. And I think
Everything.
we're just socialized that way. Like that's
It's your job as
intentional
a
on
female, and
society's
if
part.
you don't do that, then society's going to look at you like, ooh, bad
Right.
woman.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's wild when you think about like that kind of stuff.
You know, it's funny because sometimes even sitting out here on the deck with my feet up, I will feel guilt for that.
Really?
Yeah, I'll feel like I should be doing something.
Something.
Like if I know there's dirty dishes in here and I'm sitting out there with my feet
Yeah.
up, I'll be like, should
Yeah.
I be doing that?
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And that's ridiculous. Like, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's funny though, actually, when you bring that up. It reminds me of like when like Trudy and I both are someone like it where we're more sensitive to, like if we're laying down or just relaxing in our room or whatever, and someone is up and clean. So say I'm laying down and Trudy's up and down and cleaning and doing laundry and all these things.
Then you feel like you have to go help.
Yes, and but Trudy's the same way, right? She's like,
Yes.
so, but now Richard could go sit in his office.
I was
and
going to
sit on
say,
his computer,
feel no guilt.
and feel like no guilt, right? Like, so I do think it really is like
Guilt is
how-
ingrained in a woman's brain.
Yeah.
I think we're born with it.
Yeah,
I think we're the nurturers of society, and I think we are born with that in our brain.
yeah, and I think it speaks to just like how generationally these things pass down, like within our bodies, within our souls, right?
I hope, for everyone's sake, that the next generation coming up breaks a lot of these cycles.
Yeah.
Really do.
Yeah.
I really hope. I had a weird thought today. You guys are going to think I'm crazy probably, but I was thinking, okay, so nobody has photo albums and things anymore.
Right.
Nobody really collects. Everything is on your phone or your computer or whatever. What if we're just in a cycle and something's going to hit the earth and boom, all of us are going to be gone. And everything that we've learned as humans is going to be gone. And what if the cycle starts all over again? You know what I mean? Like, if the humans have to... Because I think of, like, for example, the Mayan civilization. There were millions of them where I used to live. And they just disappeared. Like, there was just nobody knows. And they just literally just disappeared. So I just wonder, and there's other civilizations along the way that have disappeared as well.
Yeah.
And there would be no trace of anything. Like, if everything just suddenly, or nuclear war or whatever, and everything was gone.
Yeah.
And there was no technology, and there was no,
I wonder, it'd be interesting to see, like, how the world... Like, how would it be rebuilt? Like, what would be different about...
Well, like, when the thing with the Mayans happened, for example, there were tiny little pockets of people that survived. And they carried on.
Right.
So I think that it's possible that there might be tiny little pockets of us that survive.
Yeah.
But everything else will have been destroyed, and all the infrastructure and everything. Like, think about how the government or... companies push us to put all our stuff in storage online. Like, it's just...
Or how, like, it was funny, we went into Walmart the other day, and they haven't really announced, they never really said anything, but, like, I don't think it's even went really public, but Walmart machines actually went down all across Canada. So when we were coming into Walmart, they were just announcing to everybody that they were cash only because all of the machines had gone down.
And how many people carry cash these days?
Like, none.
None.
So, and we said, the reason why we figured out why it was all around Canada, because we said, okay, well, we'll just go to the Dartmouth Crossings one. And the lady said, it's not going to do you any good because it's across Canada. And I'm like, that's crazy. But yeah, it is a reality check. Like, even when you think about when power goes out and you can't use you gotta use cash. Like, we so depend on technology. Like, we do.
And then that's why I think that civilization would start from square one. You'd be back to, there would be no cash because there just isn't like stacks of cash sitting around anymore. And that people would have to go right back to the roots of trading and farming and,
It'd be cool to think about how it would, like,
and I mean, here's the thing. Nobody really will know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if that is the case, and that keeps happening over the world over and over again, you're not going to know because you're not going to be here.
Yeah. No, that would be interesting to see, like, what would be different. You know what I mean? Like,
because I wonder if this... technology, because the Mayans were very smart. Like, they had extreme mathematical, and the Egyptians as well. And they were, like, way above us, levels and levels above what our humanity is now. And so how do we know that there isn't better technology than we have? Somebody doesn't know about it, or, it hasn't been invented again.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
I just think because fashion cycles, like the same thing happens, it comes around again.
Comes around again, over and over again.
Because there's only, I guess, so many things you can think of to do with fashion.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was my thought this morning while I was laying in bed pondering my life.
That it would be cool to think about, like, how would you start up again? What would be different? How would society develop differently? Like, would the new society be...
I think the new society...
maternal versus, paternal, and...
I think the new society would be very much like the old settlers were. Like, very, have to rely on... People would be back to work, I think.
Yeah, interesting.
Because if you wanted to eat, you're going to have to grow and,
Yeah.
do all those things or hunt. And so,
Yeah, that would be cool to see how that would develop.
yeah. And
Yeah.
people with those skills would be very valuable. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people in society these days that are, either opposed or don't hunt or fish or,
Yeah.
don't know how to raise their own meat.
Yeah. It's cool. One thing that is really growing lately, or I see growing, is gardening.
And the younger people with chickens and
Yeah.
eggs and things like that.
Yeah. So again, I mean, there's not any sort of big event, but you could see that kind of recycling itself, right? Going back into nature and growing. And I mean, that might just come
And
out of pure
going off
necessity. Going off grid. Yeah, you see that
A lot of
more.
people are going off grid. They're going solar.
Yeah.
So they have their own system for everything, basically.
Yeah. So we kind of are recycling in a way, right? We're kind of going back a little bit, like some of the basics.
It's kind of a mix of old and new technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, the gardening is a big one, like growing your own food and stuff. I'm hearing about it a lot more.
And you're seeing it every time you walk in.
Yes, I'm seeing it too, yeah.
My garden is growing like so good and I'm so pleased.
Yeah. But even people are like, and I can't remember what they call it, but it's like people are even doing like little gardens, like if they're in an apartment building or whatever, like these little
Potted gardens.
Yeah.
Or there's these upright ones you can buy with different slots so you can grow different things in them. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
You should try it. There's this, and I didn't realize it until I got back to it, but there is something about putting your hands in the soil. There really is. There's something about, even if you're just pulling out weeds, like today I went to get the hose, and while I was up there I noticed some weeds, so I was weeding, forgot what I was doing, of course. Then came back down here and I just started weeding again and was, then I watered them and some of the plants were drooping over, so I was patting the soil down. But it just feels good to get your hands in the dirt.
Yeah, I think there is, I mean,
There's minerals and things in the dirt that we actually absorb through our skin, so it's good for us.
I mean, it's not putting my hands in the dirt, but when I had gone to Peggy's Cove like a couple weeks ago,
Oh yeah,
ago or something.
The rocks,
Yeah,
same thing. That's grounding, and it's
like,
all.
I was walking around and like just exploring the rocks, and then I was like wearing these sandals, and I'm like, when I was a kid, I wouldn't like shoes. Nope. Would be very
shoes
much
would have been gone. They'd be in the car.
So I took off my shoes and I walked around the rocks barefoot.
But those rocks are also granite, and they have a lot of minerals in them.
Yeah.
So also very good for grounding.
Yeah, and that's what I felt like. I felt grounded in that moment.
There's also a lot of history in that area too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. But yeah, it'd be cool to see how life would recycle.
Yeah.
What would you do different?
Me? I don't think I'd be one of the ones that survive, because I think that people with disabilities would be wiped out pretty quick. I think that would be because you're at a lower place on the totem pole. Not value-wise, but you're always going to need help. One way or another, you're going to need assistance. Like, you can't take your wheelchair and go to town.
Right.
If you live out in the country.
Right.
So,
Right.
at some point you're going to need help.
Yeah. This is totally off topic, but
we've been all over the place. So
I know. So I have been trying to really find, like, what my passion, my path, right? And so I've started. I can't remember what but it's like Silent Book Club, and I think I spoke about it. So one of the things that they're doing now is they have like once a month they'll have a guest speaker come and you can hear what they have to say. And so the topic was fat joy. And and there was an author from Australia who came in and chatted. And
nice.
It was really, really good. And that story about would I survive, would I not survive, like, there was like a story that we were talking about, and it was like this what is it?
Apocalypse.
Yep. World. And the thing was in the story is that the fat bodies were more valuable because all the different lands were separated by huge bodies of water. So in order to be able to float to get the resources, because fat bodies are very buoyant.
Are buoyant.
Like that was something that they valued because they needed resources, right? These were like very honorable people in the community because they needed fat bodies to be able to gain these resources, right? So they're really honored and respected, and it was seen as a really positive thing to have this fat body.
It's like Nigerian men love to marry fat women because it's in their culture it is thought that you have wealth if your wife is fat because it means she's well fed.
Right.
So it makes you look like you're
interesting.
Yeah.
So for me, like listening to the story, because normally like in stories where there's plus size women, it's like they're either confident like despite society, or they're learning to love themselves within society. But this was like a situation where it was like society deemed fat bodies just like more valuable. So there wasn't like a despite society. And so she had asked us like, what would be different in your world if fatness just wasn't even like it wasn't a thing. It was accepted and accommodated regardless. Like, and it was like traveling and I was gonna put in there like I wouldn't need to lose like another 50 to 60 pounds to get IVF. Yeah, like car seats might be more comfortable, train seats, bus seats. All of these
back
things.
in the day.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking about this yesterday, and I don't know what I was watching, but they were talking about back in the day how they had nice, comfy cars, and you had the big bench seat in the front, right, mm-hmm. and you had the big bench seat in the back, and you could easily in a sedan fit 6 people, or more,
but it's not that way anymore.
It's not that way. Everything is small and condensed,
even like
and
when we think about like plane seats, right? They've really gotten smaller
plane
too.
seats have gone down. I think some organization like W5 or one of those places, one airline, it was 6 inches they had gone in like a matter of less than 10 years.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
6 inches is a lot.
Yeah.
They were able to fit in, they took away so much leg room and so much seat room, they were able to put in a whole extra row of seats. And that's all they were caring about was that they got, 9 extra seats.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. No, I thought it was just the concept of like just fat joy.
Yeah. Was
very, very, very interesting.
Because even as fat people, I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like we're not supposed to, like people feel like we're not supposed to be happy.
Yeah.
You know
absolutely. Yes.
Like you should be miserable. You shouldn't be out there living your life and being happy and smiling and because you're fat. You should be at home exercising.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But then, like, it's healthy for fat people to be out and about and socialize, and I mean that's the same thing everybody else does, and that's how you get movement in your day, and
that's how you are a healthy person, right? All around, holistically, right? You're belonging to things and to different activities and people and peers, and you're getting movement, and Yeah. It was very interesting, I gotta say. Like, I really liked it. That is really
cool.
Yeah, the Fat Joy thing.
Did she write a book called that?
Fat Joy?
Yeah.
Fat Joy, there's a girl, she's not from, the author's from Australia, but the girl who runs it, she's from Ontario, and I think she had a podcast called Fat Joy.
Okay.
I don't know if she runs it anymore, but like a very big like fat activist, and
because I want everybody out there in whatever land to understand that Megan and I are living proof that you can be fat and have fun. You can be fat and disabled and have fun.
Yeah.
You know, you can still live a life worth living.
Yeah, and I think that's so important to remember, right? Like,
Well, I've gone from thinking maid was my only option to having a life that I love now. Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
I mean,
that's powerful.
When I think back, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a whole whack of factors that go into that, but just like changing your mindset too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
discovering
100% mindset. It's
Yeah.
not a physical thing.
No.
It's a mindset.
Yeah.
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 And it has nothing to do with losing weight or getting skinny or anything like that. It's I found a group of people that allow me to be who I am in my body and still participate. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add to this podcast for today?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. I can't think of anything.
I can't.
We should have more joy in our podcasts. But,
Maybe next podcast we can do like a funny topic.
Yeah, we'll have to think in advance of something we want to talk about funny things that have happened to us, or, you know, like embarrassing situations, or, you know, just something to make ourselves laugh.
Something silly. Yeah, we can do that. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a wonderful week. Find some fat joy in your life.
Or some skinny joy.
Or some skinny joy. Or some mid-sized
Or some almond joy.
Yes, almond joy, yes.
Have an almond joy bar.
We'll catch you next week.
We love ya.
Mwah.
Bye.
Spreading love, laughter and good vibes too. The Fat Girl Chronicles, we're breaking through. No more hiding, no more feeling small. We're taking up space, standing proud and tall. Our voice is strong, our stories to be heard. Challenging the stereotypes, flipping the world, the chronicles of